Good evening, guys, and welcome to episode 46 of Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments with me, your host, Richard Begson. As you guys know, basically, we go through everything from investing here in Costa Rica, from funds to real estate to land, tourism, developments, construction, building, owning businesses. We basically look at everything. We've looked at contracts for people before that are buying properties. We've done a variety of different stuff. Our knowledge is far and wide. So remember, if you need anything or want any help at all, we are happy to give away useless free information. You can email us at info@investingcostarica.com. That's info@investingcostarica.com. We may see a bit of a slowdown over the next 2 weeks for podcasts. And next week, I go from Santa Teresa or from San Jose to Santa Teresa in the Central Pacific Nicoya Peninsula, then up to Tamarindo, working with a client actually who listened on the podcast and wants me to help him basically create a income generating vacation rental property. So working with him on that. Again, we've got lots of interesting details and data on that. And then from there for Papagayo, then down to Jaco. I'm going to take a couple of days off in Los Sueños Resort with the kids. And anyway, I'm sure that you guys don't want to hear about that, but I'm going to be on the road for the next 2 weeks working with investors and clients here. Remember, you can contact me again. That email address is info@investingcostarica.com. So today we're going to be talking with Luis Diego Gutierrez. Luis Diego is an architectural visualizer and director at Triametry Studio. It's a company that works in the construction industry, creating photorealistic 3D images for unbuilt projects, which I think really helps people get an idea of what they're going to end up with. So it's going to be really interesting. Remember, if you have any questions for us, you can email us, or if you want to see future guests or have any questions for Luis Diego, all of the contact details are in the description below. And remember, you can also email us. I've said the email address enough times, so you can just go back to the podcast if you need it. Remember to subscribe, give us reviews, whether you like it or not. We appreciate the nice ones, of course. But let's get straight into it. Good evening, Luis Diego. How are you doing?
Hi, doing great, Richard. How are you doing?
Very, very good. Thank you. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast. I think it's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's an honor for me to be here. And thank you for having me.
While I did a little bit of digging on you, because I always like to again do a bit of research on my guests, I didn't realize you were also doing prefab homes here in Costa Rica.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one?
Yeah, sure. I didn't realize you were doing prefab homes here in Costa Rica.
Oh, well, we're actually starting on it. It's actually like a concept that we're developing right now. Like I mentioned on the previous email that I sent you, we're aiming to launch the project at the end of the year. Yep. So yes, we're definitely working on prefab homes. We believe that it's the future, so we're going for it.
Awesome. Well, as I said before here, I think I'd mentioned on the podcast before, I have a lot down in San Gerardo de Lota. So I'd be interested to show it to you and figure out what you could do there, because we want to build some like 3 or 4 contemporary, cabins on it. So I'm looking at your website here. I can see that they are pretty pro-am homes. I can see that they are pretty contemporary.
Yeah. Well, we're actually aiming to develop like the Teslas of prefab homes. So we're aiming to do a really high-tech, modern prefab home. We're looking to put together a bunch of systems that will allow the house to be auto-sustainable.
Yep.
So yeah, we're experimenting with different things, putting a lot of technology into it. I don't know. Awesome. Alexa and all that automated stuff, yeah, will be there.
That's great. I mean, what's the base model? How much does the base model cost roughly, Luis Diego, just for listeners to have an understanding?
Well, right now, let me give you the measure in Costa Rican measurements, which will be metros cuadrados, right? Square meters.
Yep.
So the smallest one is 45 square meters.
Okay.
And that one will be around $100,000.
Okay. So about there are a little 500 square feet for $100,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I mean, you've been in the industry quite a while. I mean, I can see here that you've done, again, you guys do architecture, interior, furniture, industrial design. It's quite a lot of stuff. I was really impressed in the 3D architectural stuff that you've done, just because a lot of architects kind of talk about that stuff. But I did have the opportunity once to put on a VR headset to walk through a home, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's good. Yeah, well, actually, with this 3D technology, I think that we're really like taking the lead here in Costa Rica, because not many people get to this type of detail and precision, right? Because what we do is that we basically build the project prior to be built in reality, right?
Yep.
So we applied all the materials, all the specifications, even furniture, no matter the fabric or the finish that it's made of, we can really portray that into our images. So the client at the end will see a 95 to 99% image that will be exactly like the real thing, right? When it's once that it's built.
Well, I think that's awesome because, again, I think it's very difficult. Some people are able to visualize what it is that they want and others are not. I'm okay at it. My wife is pretty terrible at it. I hope she didn't hear that. But yeah, I mean, I think that really helps people understand what they're going to get, but also is kind of like, we've talked about a little bit on the podcast about bioclimatic design, sun movements, openness, so I'm sure that you guys take all that into play when designing something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the interesting part of this is that, the technology allows us to actually create an environment, so we can create like a virtual reality experience for our clients where they can put on the glasses and they can actually see everything exactly how it's going to look once that it's built. And yeah, I mean, we have found that helps a lot for clients to actually understand the design, because sometimes I know in meetings with architects, the client will say, "Oh yeah, I like it," or "Yeah, it's great," but maybe on the inside they didn't totally understood it, or
Yep.
And sometimes once the project is finished, they're like a little bit lost or surprised that it's not like what they thought, right? So that's what we do. That's the kind of things that we want to do.
I mean, what typically do you find that when something gets built, if they'd have had kind of your 3D modeling or kind of like more of the virtual experience, what would they have maybe, what are they most shocked by? What things do they typically change when they go through you kind of see your, your 3D imaging and the virtual reality stuff?
Well, the things that they change the most, of course, is that they would like to see different type of finishes.
Yep.
I don't know, for their bathroom or for the floor, or maybe the kitchen cabinetry. They want to see in different colors, different finishes. So yeah, it's actually more like a game with the client, right? We start like throwing some ideas, throwing some materials, different finishes, different stuff, and of course this will be guided through the design process.
Yep.
But once that we get together on a meeting, then we can start changing and getting ideas. So it's very, very funny, very, very interesting.
I mean, I love it, Luis Diego. Again, as I said, I took a 3D, basically virtual reality walk through this house once, and I was just like, you know what? If I was to put a lot of money into a home here, I would definitely be using this, because again, it's like, you're really able to conceptualize how it feels, how it looks. And I think, as you mentioned there, I mean, some of the most expensive stuff we mentioned on some of the other podcasts is the final finishing. So like the kitchen cabinet color, the floor color, the tiling in the bathroom, like all that stuff is expensive. So you better get it right, because it's going to be expensive to change it, right?
Exactly. You better get it right the first time. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really expensive to change it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the kind of security that we want to provide to our clients.
Yep.
Even more when they're foreign or they're in a different country, all these materials help them a lot. Not to be traveling all the time, or they can get it just at the home and they can revise it anytime. So that's the interesting part of this technology. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, a question for you: is what you do expensive?
It is. Yeah, it is a little bit.
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, because most of the clients, they don't really understand all the work that it's behind these 3D images.
Yep.
Because it's actually to build the place from nothing virtually.
Yep.
So we can make it look once that it's built. So yeah, it is expensive, but I'll say that it's an investment that will give you a peace of mind once that you have your project done, right? Because you're gonna be ready, and you're gonna know what's gonna be ahead with time.
Well, I suppose you can move quicker on a project as well. So instead of something like you having to change something later on, you've already visualized everything, what it looks like. So stuff can just move very quickly. You can pre-buy it as well. And I mean, with the cost of materials going up so much at the moment, I mean, you could potentially cover that cost, very, very quickly. So So, I mean, just to give us an idea, Luis Diego, I mean, how much does something like this cost? I mean, I'm sure that you're going to say it depends on the side of the house, but just give us a rough estimation of a typical sized house that you guys work on.
Well, let's say that if we do, I don't know, like a luxury residence, let's say,
Yep.
it depends on how many pictures the client want or how many videos or animations they're aiming for. But right now, let's say that a small package for a place like that will go around $3,000.
That's not too bad at all. I don't think that's too bad at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got 3D renderings done, high-end 3D renderings, and I mean, you know, each image. Yeah. I mean, you could be looking anywhere from $500 to $1,000 just because, I mean, again, the detail, it looks exactly like, you know, basically the all the renderings are.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we're trying to make the service accessible for everybody to try it out first. So we're doing like special services or special prices for the beginning. So that's one of the packages that we're releasing right now. But yeah, I mean, it is a really expensive service, and it's really something that takes a lot of time, right? So we better make those changes virtually than make them once that it's being built, right? Because it's going to be even more expensive for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I mean, so let me get your opinion on something, Luis Diego, because I'd love to ask people this. Where do you think people should be looking to invest in Costa Rica and why? I'd love to get everyone's opinion on this. I mean, I'm sure you've been over this all over this country, but if you were looking to make an investment here, where would you make it and why?
Well, I mean, tell you like just one place, it's really
give me a couple. Give me a couple.
Costa Rica. Well, definitely for sure. Guanacaste, Nosara, and Santa Teresa, and Flamingo, and all that those places over there are really like getting into people, and they're very beautiful, and people fall in love with it right away.
Yep.
But I say that also we have the lake in the Arenal volcano.
Yep.
That place over there is really beautiful. It hasn't been exploited a lot. And well, it has its charming as well, right?
Yeah.
And well, also I believe that in the south part of the country, in Punta Arenas, near to Panama, that place it's also a good place to invest right now. I mean, if you want to invest in Costa Rica, I'll say that it's almost a safe bet if you find a really experienced professional that will guide you on where to build, and that's also based on the client's likings, right?
Yeah.
It's the people that lives in Guanacaste is different from the people in the I don't know, volcano. So it depends on everybody.
It's funny you say Arenal, just because I'm working with a client at the moment. We're about to make an offer on a piece of land there, which is about 4,500 square meters. I found it just walking by it one day, called their owner up, found it, very good price, sits right there in front of the volcano, close to town. So he's about to build a luxury vacation rental there just because, again, you know, I work in the travel industry and I know that there are no great vacation rentals there. So I'm like, look, you want a home in Costa Rica, you love Arenal, he constantly stays at Nayara. I'm like, why don't we just build that concept, but a luxury home in front of the volcano?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the good part of our country. I mean, you can basically build everywhere, you know, so that's good for us, you know. We can create everything anywhere, and we really try to take the context of the project into the houses, you know. So a house built in the Arenal volcano won't look exactly the same as a house in Nosara. So it keeps varying, and everything adds, you know.
Wow. I mean, it from what I understand, Luis Diego, you guys are also involved in interior design. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. I mean, I've been working on interior design for a couple of years now. Let me tell you that it's really different from architecture, you know, because in interior design, it's all about the client, you know. As an architect, when we design a structure, we can propose and we can make different things, and we can also, like I mentioned, go together with the context or the climate. But once that you're talking about interior design, it's a different world. It's all the inside and how people is going to live that. So what I always say to my clients is that I'm trying to be like a psychiatrist in a way. So I will understand your likings. I will understand the way that you live, what you do. And based on that, we're going to design a place exactly for you, right? Based on
Yeah.
your needs.
I mean, in the design process of a home, okay, where do you, I mean, what questions do you think people should be asking yourselves? What things do you think they should be considering, maybe that they're not? I mean, what would be your advice to anyone looking to design a home here in Costa Rica?
Well, first of all, I would say get a good real estate agent for sure. So that way you will be sure, yeah, that you will have a good investment, a good piece of land. First of all, after that, well, you need to understand also all the sustainable concepts that we have here in Costa Rica. So I would say that you first need to understand your piece of land as well. You need to make all the previous exams for your land, like the test for the land, so we will know exactly what kind of um, I
Like a
forgot the word. I'm
soil
sorry.
study? Like a soil
Like a
study?
soil study,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Soil studies are very, very important. Even when I tell you, like, yeah, we can build everywhere, the soil study really, really tells
Yep.
us what we need and what the piece of land needs to be built on. So I would say that, then get a good professional that knows about the places around, the stores, all the providers, all the construction places. So that's really important. And well, someone that actually speaks your language, that's also very important, right? Because
Definitely.
communication is it's key in these processes, right?
Definitely.
Um, and well, also I'll say invest in good 3D renderings because they will definitely give you a good peace of mind and a good understanding of your project. And well, it's actually to see your investment prior to be built. So what better than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree on the 3D renderings. We have an 8-bedroom luxury villa, which used to be a boutique hotel, and we had a viewing deck upstairs in the property. And we decided to turn the viewing deck into a master suite, and we had the renderings done, and it came out exactly like it was because we could show the builders, basically the guys refurbishing it, make it look like this, like, exactly, and it came out exactly the same. When we did the entrance, like we got 3D renderings of the entrance and showed the guys, make it look like this. Like it's so much easier to tell someone, make it look like this rather than try and explain it in words.
Exactly. I mean, this also helps a lot with all the contractors. Once they can see what is it that they have to build, it's easier for them to go ahead and make it.
Yep.
So it's a process that actually helps everybody involved in the project. So yeah, that's really good. And well, also, well, talking about luxury projects most of the time come with luxury furniture. And
Yep.
all of these luxury brands, they are developing more and more their 3D libraries or galleries in their websites. So usually what we do is that we design the space, we choose the furniture, and we're also in contact with those providers. And that's how we can actually make it look exactly the same because they provide us those tools. Of course, that helps them a lot with the sales, and we just make it look exactly how the furniture is going to look in reality.
Yeah, I think that's great. Again, I mean, I'd really suggest somebody get some renderings done. Spend, a couple of $1,000s on getting it done because then it's so much easier just to show everyone, make it look like this. I mean, and you'll end up getting what it is that you want. Whereas sometimes you leave a project, again, for someone that's foreign, coming backwards and forwards, you come back and you're like, oh my God, that's not what I wanted. And it costs a lot of money to change it. So I think that's huge advice. Now, you mentioned Santa Teresa, Nosara, Flamingo there. I mean, they're kind of somewhat developed beach towns or developing beach towns. But I mean, which ones do you think, not that are not those areas? What do you think are like the diamonds in the rough here with regards to areas in Costa Rica that will begin to grow in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. Well, that's actually a good question. Um, let's say Guanacaste, everywhere in Guanacaste, basically. I mean, with the airport there, everything is super super close,
Yep.
and well, yeah, those areas that you mentioned, they are kind of developed right now. So of course, we're going to start going on the outsides of those places, and that's where people is going to find cheaper land and also beautiful places for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm in Santa Teresa next week because the clients that I'm with, I'm helping them find a bit of land over there because, again, they're looking to do a bit of a project. Again, I mesh real estate and tourism. I'm not a realtor, but I have all this tourist information and I've developed land and built here. So I'm a realtor's like basically worst nightmare, but also kind of they love me as well because, again, a lot of the time I'll work with clients that are very qualified clients. But like they were looking at Santa Teresa. Santa Teresa was too expensive. So we started to look at Playa Carmen, Manzanillo, Montezuma to the south. So I agree. I think it's going to spread out there, in those areres.
It's definitely going to spread. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so my last question for you, Luis Diego, because we won't keep you any longer here, because I know that you've probably got 3D imaging to do. So if you inherited $500,000, meaning you inherited it and had to invest it into a business, so it can be in a business or real estate in Costa Rica, what would you do with it and why?
Prefab homes, tiny homes, for sure. And this is really related with the whole global situation right now. With the pandemic, we have some reassurance and confirmations about why human beings need to change a little bit their way of life,
Yep.
And that's how we see all these digital nomads wanting to work in different places, different countries, and also not needing much, to live. They just want to travel light. They want to stay in beautiful places, well-designed, comfortables, functionals. So I'll say that's the future. Just like how you see how Netflix killed Blockbuster by giving the power to the people to choose what they want to watch at any moment. These tiny homes or these prefab homes will do the same for everybody. It's going to allow them to get an investment and develop it and keep growing it, right? So it's a good investment. If you're thinking about developing a bunch of these tiny homes and rent them out or create this hotel project based on tiny homes. So we can do a lot here in Costa Rica. It's a beautiful place. The climate is great. And all the sustainability opportunities that are going on are definitely adding to these type of projects.
Well, your timing is impeccable, Luis Diego, because actually on Saturday, I'm in the Tamarindo area with a guy from San Francisco, and we're actually doing a tiny home project up there at the moment. So we're searching for land at the moment, and we've worked on the financial model, so it works. But there really is no smaller home project up there. So I'm sure we'll be in contact once we actually find the land and have kind of more of the design ready. So yeah, definitely.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great. We're also developing right now a project in Santa Teresa, actually, that it's made of tiny homes.
Yep.
And they're just like wooden tiny homes. They're really, really simple, but they have this kind of enchantment of I don't know. It looks like a really beachy place. It's all the wood and some palms on the trees, and everything's tried to be auto-sustainable. So I think that every project here in Costa Rica is just made to enjoy, to relax, and just to be in contact with nature, and that's what we like to do best.
I agree. Well, Luis Diego, I really, really appreciate your time. I know that you're very busy, so I really appreciate you coming on here. For anyone that wants to contact Luis Diego, I'm going to put all your contact details of yourself and also your company down. So I'm sure that you'll have quite a few people reaching out to you, sir.
Sure, that would be great. We're here to help everybody to create their dream home or the dream project here in Costa Rica and to 3D render it first, so they will be sure that everything's going to go smooth and great. All right.
I agree. Well, thanks very much, Luis Diego. You have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Richard. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that podcast there with Luis Diego. I thought it was very, very interesting talking about kind of the 3D designs, the renderings, and really making sure that like the pictures that you get from the renderings is exactly what they end up building. I think it's really, really important. So, my advice is on all the building projects I've been into, I've been involved in, is that people typically, spend a lot of money toward the end part because, again, they didn't think things through. Whereas these 3D renderings and also kind of the virtual reality tools, which is really cool, especially for a larger home to just see kind of how the light comes in and with the surroundings, really, really helps in that process and can save you money kind of in the long term. So I would suggest doing that. As Luis Diego said there, start at about $3,000. I'm getting quite a few questions. I had a listener the other day, Joe. Joe had asked me, "Hey, Rich, I think you should really explain, why you do these podcasts and what it is that you're doing." First of all, I do them because this service, this information is kind of very dispersed out there, but also, kind of trying to get to the right people here in Costa Rica can be very, very difficult. So trying to kind of bring a bit of order to the chaos down here and make sure that you get kind of great, basically people in front of you and also great advice. So kind of just really educating you and informing you. Also, he was like, "Well, Richard, like, how do you, like, what's the benefit to you?" Well, I mean, we're about to kick off the website, investingcostarica.com. I do actually do quite a bit of consulting work, a lot on tourism, kind of travel related stuff, anything with vacation rentals, developing homes, what they should have, what they shouldn't, where's good to build, where's not, things to consider. I've had clients that have built boutique hotels, larger hotels, vacation rentals, homes, just bought land, tiny homes, making like basically more long-term land banking investments all over Costa Rica. Also financial instruments as well. I also run Costa Rica tourism bonds, which is basically the ability for people to invest into existing successful tourism projects here, as well as have a variety of real estate funds here as well, and real estate projects here that people can get involved in. So if anybody's interested about learning more or wants to chat, remember you can contact me. It's Richard Bexon, info@investingcostarica.com. I'll put all the information in the description as well. But I thought I'd like to get that out there just because a few people have been asking. But if anyone needs any help, wants me to look at anything, I looked at a contract the other day for a project here, told the woman to walk away from it. I didn't like the way it was worded, the way basically that their initial 25% deposit was non-refundable, but they hadn't got the plans for the project yet, meaning the individual planos, the title for the land hadn't been sorted. There was no environmental studies. There's just there was a lot of risk there for putting 25% down it was a $500,000 purchase. So I just gave her a bit of input there, told her to also speak to a lawyer as well. But that was I just read through the contract for her and that was my kind of input on it. But here to help anyone, remember, Richard Bexon, info@investingcostarica.com. Thanks, guys.